In this video, I'm going to attempt to describe some of George Cantor's work on infinity the best that I can as a non-mathematician. Um, it goes by the spirit of every possibility exists, and this is a metaphysical statement going back to Plato. Now, George Cantor was a mathematician, but there's a lot of philosophical, metaphysical um, implications to his work and the study of infinity. So, one example I'm going to use here is comparing natural numbers to real numbers. And the natural numbers are the counting numbers 1, 2, 3, 10, all the way, uh, and there's an infinite amount of the counting numbers. Real numbers are everything listed here of the natural numbers, the counting numbers, but also everything in between it. So if we try to do a one-to-one correspondence of the natural numbers and the real numbers, 1 to 1, 2 to 1/3, 3 to pi, 4 to 4, and so forth. Again, the real numbers can be integers like 2. They can be 1/3, like the expression of 0.333 repeating indefinitely, or the rational numbers like pi that have an infinite number of decimal points. So the natural numbers are infinite. 1, and we can keep counting. 2, 3, can keep counting. Those are infinite. The real numbers are also infinite. But the amazing thing is that the real numbers are greater than the natural numbers. So this infinity is smaller than this infinity. So in effect, the real numbers are not countable. So even though you have an infinite number of counting numbers to count with, you are not able to count the real numbers. And George Cantor proved that when you get to the end of all the counting, you're left with an infinite number of numbers beyond the last number that you can count in theory. And he called this omega, that it's just beyond the last number that you could count. So that is, in effect, out of this world of, because this counting is within our world, omega is even beyond that. So this is really amazing if you can think about this, that the countable numbers, when you do this one-to-one correspondence, cannot count the real numbers. And not only that, is that this is so large, the real numbers, it makes the set of the natural numbers, if you said this was the set, and he said this was one set, the natural numbers, divided by the real numbers would be 1 over infinity. This is so large that it makes the set of natural numbers 0. And here's another example of infinity merging with 0, as we've talked about so many times before. So the natural numbers divided by the real numbers equals 1 over infinity or approaching a limit of 0. So this is really amazing. Again, something that is infinite being smaller than something that is also infinite, but this is so much larger, infinitely larger than the other set, that this first set disappears in effect. So that's a quick definition and mind-blowing, scientifically, mathematically proven introduction to George Cantor, that one infinity can be infinitely larger than another infinity. One set cannot be counted by the natural counting numbers, and that the fact that this set, the real numbers, includes all of the numbers in between here and the irrational numbers and the fractions and so forth, they have the freedom to go beyond infinity. So it's an infinity beyond infinity. So that's where it goes back to, again, this theory of every possibility exists.